Have I got a story for you? Wait till you hear this one. It's about an irate firewood customer. So about a week ago, I delivered a load of wood to a customer, brand new customer, never sold her wood before, and she had to have white oak. Now, this is one that you did not see the delivery on. It's one that, well, I'll give you the whole story here. It's kind of complicated, but here's what happened. I got a call from someone else saying, hey, this person wants some firewood. It was a referral type thing. So I texted this lady and I said, I've got the wood you want. What are you looking for? And she says, well, I gotta have white oak. Well, right away I'm thinking she's gotta have white oak. It's summertime, so it's not for heating. She wanted just 1/3 of a quarter face cord. And I thought, well, she must want it for smoking meat, for doing some type of a barbecue thing, because that's what a lot of people use white oak for. So I'm thinking, okay, she's gotta have it. So that's what I'll bring. So I set up the date and the time. So the next day I'd set up a time I was going to deliver the wood. So I got a hold of her that morning because I had the wood loaded up in the morning, and I said, I got your wood loaded. I'll be there at 6 o'clock. And at about 5:30, she texted me back, and I was just about to leave. And I was just going to text her saying I'm on my way. She texted me and said, I locked my purse, that's my wallet in it, with my money at work, and I can't get back in. So can you deliver it in the morning? So I'm like, yeah. So right there, that's a red flag. Luckily, I didn't have anything first thing in the morning. I said, okay, I will deliver it in the morning. Let me know what time is good for you. Well, morning to her meant noon. So it wasn't great for me because I would like to have delivered it right away so I had the rest of the day to myself. So it's right smack dab in the middle of the day. Another red flag, number 2. So that was an issue. So I get there and she's got cars parked in the driveway. So you will knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here with your wood. I'm gonna dump it out of the dump trailer. Where am I putting it? So she comes outside. I said, well, if you're putting it in the garage, we should just dump it up by the door here. So you're gonna have to move your car. Oh, yeah. So I'll go get my keys. Well, so I go out to my truck. I'm sitting in the truck on the street, and it's a busy street. There's cars coming and going. I'm kind of blocking traffic, and it took her it seemed like 5 minutes, which is a long time to be sitting out in the truck. Finally, she comes out, she moves the car, and she parks right next to the driveway. So I couldn't even swing to get in to get the trailer into her driveway because it was a narrow driveway. So then I had to get out and tell her, hey, you got to pull ahead. I can't make that corner because there's cars on the other side. And so everything about this was just going bad. And so finally I get in there and I'm gonna start to dump the wood, and her and 2 guys that were there started unloading the wood out of the trailer. I said, oh, just hang on, it's a dump trailer. I'm gonna just dump it right here. She says, oh, so okay, we thought we could just like take it out of here and take it to the backyard. I said, well, I'm just gonna dump it and then you can take care of it. So I said, no, I'm curious. I said, is this for like smoking a meat? Is this for doing barbecue? What? No, she said, we're just gonna have fires in the fire pit in the backyard. I said, oh, because most people that get oak, white oak specifically, usually are doing smoking of ribs or brisket or something like that, and they want it for a special purpose. No, and that's fine if you want it for campfire wood. I said, but you don't have to have oak. I said, you can get mixed hardwood. We have ash. I have hard maple, soft maple. I have locust. I have cherry. I have pine. I said, mixed hardwood's going to have a little bit of everything in it. And you don't have to have oak. I said, no, oak is a slower burning wood. It's because I could tell this was new to her. I said, it's a slower burning wood. It might be a little harder to get going. I said, do you have a fire pit already? She says, no, we just have a spot in the backyard. We're going to burn it right on the ground. Okay, so that's her fire pit. So I should have asked these questions ahead of time. I just assumed, which is, when you assume something, you become the first 3 letters of that, the assuming part. You become that part. So I should have done that and found out ahead of time. So finally, I get the wood dumped. She pays me. I drive away. I thought, good, that's done. It's all over. Well, the very next day I get a phone call. And I didn't take the phone call. She left me what I would call an irate message. She said, this wood you brought me, we can't even get it to burn. It doesn't burn. I'm like, I know in my mind the wood that I took her, because I use a moisture meter on my wood before I deliver it. If it's the first from a batch, I will split it open. I make sure that it's below 20%. Usually it's 17, 18, 16, 15 in there. So I know it's good wood. And I've had this happen one other time. I had a customer that couldn't get the wood to burn. But this is outside. How can you not get fire to burn outside? So right away I'm thinking, something's not right. So just like an engineer, you got to work the problem to find the solution. So like if I was an engineer and someone had a problem with a piece of equipment where something wasn't working, right away you think to yourself, as an engineer, you got to work the problem to get from here to the solution. You got to find out. So you got, like I said, you got a piece of equipment that's not working right. The product you're using the machine for to make, it's not straight. It's crooked. It's something's not coming out right. You got to ask yourself: is it too fast? Is it too slow? Is it too left? Too right? Too up? Too down? Is it too much power? Not enough power? Is it being handled wrong? Is the material, I'm just kind of thinking wood here, is the material not positioned correctly? There's got to be something. So in this case, I thought, well, what it must be is that they don't know how to make a fire. And I guess I should have maybe coached her a little bit once I found out when I was at the delivery that maybe I could give them some tips. And I've done that in the past for new people, but this one I kind of was just, I was like, I just wanted to be done because this was a 2-day process just to get her a 1/3 of a cord of wood. So anyway, so I texted her back and I said, okay, now I know the wood is dry and it's ready to burn. So there's obviously a problem. Either, you know, your technique of getting the fire to burn isn't quite right, or maybe it's, you're not using a kindling at all. Maybe you're not using any type of newspaper or any type of accelerant. I call it Boy Scout juice. Lighter fluid works great for starting fires. And she said, well, when we grill out, we use that Kingsford stuff. We just light it with a match. So right away I'm thinking, she thought this wood, she could just light it with a match. And it's white oak. And as you know, if you burnt wood, white oak is not match light. You're going to need some newspaper, maybe some kindling, maybe a little bit of lighter fluid or some other type of ignition source. Maybe you're going to use a fire starter, a little, wax cups to get it going. There's a lot of technique involved that us as firewood people, we assume that everybody else knows, but not everybody else knows. So her message was kind of nasty. She had some bad words said to me about how bad the wood was. So I'm thinking, well, I got to solve this because it's an issue. So I couldn't call her back. I just texted her and said, hey, I'll give you a call later tonight or tomorrow and I'll find out what I can do to solve the problem. So I'm thinking to myself, I bet she probably doesn't know how to make a fire, didn't use kindling, didn't use newspaper. There had to be some issues. So what I did was, it was on my way to another delivery the next day. I took a bundle of kindling and I put it right on our front doorstep. And then I texted her right after. I said, hey, I brought you some kindling. I think this might solve your problem. If you were trying to light your wood with just a match without any type of newspaper or kindling or any kind of lighter fluid, anything like that, I said, what you're going to want to do is crisscross the pieces on the bottom, put some newspaper underneath that, and don't even put the wood on until you get the flames going. And so then she texted me back the next day and said, I'm so sorry. I had a terrible car accident that next day, and I got home and I wanted to make a fire and I couldn't get it to go. And she said, everything went wrong that day. I had a car accident. I just wanted to sit out by a fire and relax because I finally had some wood to do that, and I couldn't get it to go. And I was just mad about the whole situation. She said, you were right. I put some newspaper down. I put some kindling on the top. I got the fire going. And then put some wood on, burned great. So it wasn't my problem, but to her it was my problem because I sold her the product. So when you get an irate customer, handle it right away. It's an opportunity to win them over. So now I'm pretty sure she's going to be a good customer because I helped solve her problem. And I have done this for other customers too, where they have an issue. Usually it's a draft issue in a fireplace or something like that. But in this case, it was outside, so I knew it wasn't a draft issue. The wood I knew was dry. It was just one of those things. So again, try to work the problem, solve it, make them happy. Because every time you get a really difficult situation with someone like this or something that's not right, it's an opportunity for you to fix a problem and be the hero. Because that's really what people want. They want help. They want they want things to go right. So I was able to solve her problem. I didn't fix her car. I mean, that was an issue. I guess she got T-boned, I guess. My car wasn't even drivable. She had to have it towed. So it was a bad day for her. So my old friend Zig Ziglar used to call it a cat kicking day. With that, what he referred to as it is that you get home from a rough day, and the first thing you walk in the house, the cat's laying right there, and it jumps in front of you, and it's in your way, so you kick the cat. And it's because at work, your boss gave you a pile of work to do on the weekend. You got cut off in traffic. You spilt coffee or something all over yourself. You know, just all the things that can go wrong in a day. So the first thing you do is you take it out on something or somebody. And that's what she did to me. She took it out on me because she had an issue getting the fire started because she didn't have fire making skills. So that's one of the things that I guess for you guys, pay attention to. If you get someone that you can tell is a noob, someone who's new to the actual fire experience, give them tips. Now, when I get people that will insist on having oak, I will tell them, no, have you burned oak in the past? Do you like oak? Why did you get oak? Usually it's because that's all they know. Usually it's because someone told them oak is the best. And if they're doing outside fire pit, for example, all wood will burn, as you know. And it's a little easier to get wood burning if you've got some kindling, if you've got some newspaper or some cardboard underneath it. If you make sure you don't have a lot of draft issues with wind and things like that outside. If you're in an enclosed fire pit like the smokeless stoves, a lot easier to get a fire going because you can light it down below inside where the wind isn't blowing and then keep adding stuff. So the moral of the story is not everybody is as skilled as you at making fires. Some people have no skills because they've never done it. So it's kind of up to you, us, we. It's all of our problem to make sure that people know how to burn wood and help them. So I solved the problem, and the irate customer ended up being very happy. So she thanked me, said that it was her issue and it wasn't my problem, but it got taken care of. So the moral of the story is help people. Find out what the issues are that they could possibly have, because the best time to solve a problem is before it comes up. Find out, why did you get oak? Have you had lots of fires? Do you usually do this? And I've even told people when it comes to oak, I always tell them, now oak is one of those kinds of wood that doesn't start real easy. It's a harder to get going wood. It's not aspen or poplar. It's not pine. It's not a kind of wood that just takes off right away. It's a slow burning, hard to get going wood for the most part. That's what I found anyway. So there you go. That is the story of the irate customer, now a good customer. That's all I got for today, folks. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video. Go watch the rest of the videos on our channel. There's 1,800 waiting for you right now. Good night, Irene.